lost 17 pounds and 11% body fat. And even though I've got a few people to thank, even though I've got a few people to hold on, wait a minute,
let's get it. What are you working on?
Thank, in all seriousness, listen, the Peloton, the treadmill, the diet has improved. I got a lot of people to thank. My man OB, JJ Smith with her green smoothies, my man Bucky Marcus, people like that. But I got to give love to my man Ryan Clark, because my man Ryan Clark looked at me one day and said, unacceptable. The crunch berries, this and that, it's gotta stop. And he got on me so bad. The only thing worse than that, Molly, and Max, my little niece Keturah looked at me a few months ago. She went like this, oh, Uncle Steve. Oh, Uncle Steve. Shout
out to Keturah for keeping it real.
I had to change.
Guys, we'll do this.
Listen, Stephen A's happy. Stephen A's happy when he grows in the mustache and comes out giving the Academy Award speech over those 10 pounds or whatever it was. Good job.
That's right.
It was 17. My goodness. It's hard, especially as you get older. All right, our producer, who I love, Brian Bork, is going to kill me right now because I totally derailed this, and there's so much football to get into. But Stephen A., there will be follow-up questions about this weight loss because I have some.
Sure.
All right, we'll keep it moving. So we know the deal, right? The Giants get you-know-what, and now the Eagles, you saw what they did. It's all a mess. Max, how upset do you think Eagles should be?
Everyone should be very upset with this. Guys, there's a reason the NFL flexed this game into prime time. Come on, last game of the season, and it determines who goes to the playoffs among divisional rivals, and you mail it in like that. By the way, you come in with a plan. It looked to me like you were trying to lose in terms of what you planned on doing, and in spite of that, this young dude, Jalen Hurts, wasn't having it. Didn't even play great, but willed his team to stay in the game, and I believe that gave them a good chance to win till the end, and I believe actually they would have won if they kept them in. I thought they had chances. I think Hurts would have won the game. And by the way, if you want to find out about something on your team, the second round pick, the guy you drafted in the second round, right? Because you didn't believe in your first round quarterback anymore that you gave the $100 million contract to, and I kept telling everyone, it ain't for depth at quarterback in some abstract way. They are hedging against Carson Wentz. That dude, instead of packaging him up and getting a receiver that you needed, your second round, and then he comes in and the team comes to life behind him. You need to find out this season, what do we have here? Do we have a franchise quarterback, or do we need to draft a quarterback? Do we need to keep looking? Because it ain't Carson Wentz, that's for sure. If you need to find out about someone in your roster, it's not Sudfeld. It's not your third stringer. It's Jalen Hurts. Can you win a game on prime time that you have no business winning against a divisional rival to spoil their chances to go to the playoffs in prime time? Right? Like, can you do that? Yes or no? That's what you should be trying to figure out. Instead, you damage the integrity of the game. I'm not just sour grapes as a Giants fan, guys. I'm a Giants fan. And if the Eagles, we're like, well, if we lose this game, we get Trevor Lawrence. Or we can keep the Giants out of the playoffs and we're not playing a divisional rival. I'd be like, ooh, I hate those Eagles, but I understand. But you're playing a divisional rival. You have a chance to keep them out by beating them. Don't tell me about going from 9 to 6 in the draft. That's garbage. With a GM who can't even draft a receiver or a Pro Bowler to save his life in half a decade. You care about moving up 3 spots in the draft? Eagles fans should be apoplectic, as should all football fans. That was awful.
Number one, we don't need to take you seriously on this subject. You're clearly being emotional. I'll listen to Ryan Clark talk about this because I know he's being completely objective. We know that damn sure ain't the case with you and the New York Giants. So just stop that. Secondly, you could lose a few pounds yourself, my brother, because your back's.
Whoa!
I'm just letting you know. Number three. Okay, let me get to this point. He knows it's true. Number three. Here's the deal. When you look at the Eagles. You're damn right. Let me look at the Eagles like this, okay? It's a bad year. I understand it's a bad year, but sometimes there is a silver lining. You can stink up the joint to such a degree that clearly there needs to be a reset because your foibles, your problems, was so flagrant they can't be ignored. And I think that's what we're looking at with the Eagles here. Clearly, Carson Wentz appears to be a miscalculation, or at least his relationship with Doug Peterson obviously has to come into strong consideration. But we also got to take into account your secondary was decimated with injuries. Your offensive line was decimated with injuries. Those were two big issues plaguing the Philadelphia Eagles. We understand how awful they are, how awful they've been all season long, but there is an upside, and you're going to have the 6th pick instead of the 9th pick. Jalen Hurts is going to be there, so you have a quarterback that you at least believe can give you something in the future. And I do think that all things are not negative and all things don't need to be killed in Philadelphia. This was a bad season, make no mistake about it. I make no excuses for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was disgraceful how they threw that game last night, no doubt about it. But again, the entire season was disgraceful. So I'm not that put off by what we saw last night, because as far as I'm concerned, they've been damn near that bad all season long, and you needed something like this to happen before things got better.
Stephen A., how long did you write in Philadelphia?
17 years.
17 years.
1 year for every pound, Ryan.
And so,
God.
Max is biased. They're unreal. So Max is biased.
I look good without back injuries.
I see a little bias in you, Stephen A. You seem to be being a little soft on Philadelphia. You seem to be going like,
you would need to go read my column.
Friends.
You would need to go read my column. Because that's not what I'm known for.
Hey, listen, I'm not talking about I'm broke and coming up, Stephen A. I'm talking about the I'm rich and skinny Stephen A. that I sit across from now. That's the guy I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the other dude. I'm talking about you now. You're with the, I don't think it's that bad. I think, yo, it is bad, Stephen A. When you come into a game as a head coach, one, your $110 million man is on the sideline in civilian clothing, right? He's in equipment issued hoodies, right? So he ain't playing at all. And then you decide before the game, because you tell Chris Collinsworth, we want to get Nate Sudfeld reps. And after the game, he's been here 4 years. We thought he deserved some snaps. We don't give out participation trophies. It's dudes that work their whole lives to get one play in the NFL, to fight, to get that one chance. And we're going to give a guy a participation trophy. We're going to act like it's senior night in high school and he's fought so hard and you've given us so many great looks from freshman year to senior year. We're going to get you a snap? No, that's a loser's mentality. You don't come into this game, you don't come into these seasons, you don't come into these years thinking, you know what, every game's not important. In a year where Max and many other people thought there's no way the NFL finishes 256 games. There's no way the NFL gives you 17 weeks of full football. They did it. They got it done. And we finished on that. We finished with Nate Sudfeld. I'd rather watch Hinton that was playing quarterback for the Denver Broncos that was a practice squad wide receiver.